librarian at Sherwood Regional Library, and this is Adulting 101. Adulting 101 is a virtual learning program that teaches life skills to teens, tweens, and new adults, or anyone who's interested in learning a new skill. So I hope you guys enjoy this session. Today we are going to be talking about the basics of doing laundry. So let's get started. All right, so let's start with the very first step of laundry. And that first step should always be sorting your clothes. So I've got a couple of clothing items here that I'm gonna actually sort to show you guys the art of sorting. One thing that I like to do is make sure I have like a handy dandy tote whenever I'm doing my laundry. And this is gonna be really important because especially if you are a teen that is about to graduate from college, about to graduate from high school, or you are, a new adult that's basically moved into their new space or has moved out of their parents' home or guardian's home. The one thing that you're gonna want to do is get yourself a nice tote, especially if you have to go to especially if you don't have an in-home washing machine and dryer. This is wonderful if you have to go to the laundromat, which I have had to do many times. So this tote, I think it ran for about maybe $4, $5, bought it at Walmart. There are cheaper options. You can even get a rucksack, and that's like a really big bag that has a drawstring on it. You can put your clothes in there too, but it's just easier to tote things back and forth if you are doing your laundry distantly. So that was just a tip. And I am now going to talk about sorting. One thing that is an important aspect of sorting is it helps you preserve your clothing. And what I mean by preserve is your clothing will last longer if you wash them with the right types of other clothing. Like for instance, this is a white shirt. It would be really bad for me to wash this with this pink sock because the dye from this pink sock is going to get into this white shirt and turn it what color? Pink. So if you want to keep your whites white, like the commercials say, you're going to need to wash your whites with your whites and basically your other items that are like each other with the other items that are like each other. So here's where I show you guys the two methods I have of sorting. One is a very defined sorting method, but the drawback or the con of that setting, separating that way is that you're gonna have more loads. So another pro tip is if you are, washing at a laundromat where you have to pay to wash, it's better to get your loads down to like 3 or 2 or maybe 4 loads if possible, to not have so many loads because that's more money and that's not helping you save money. So I will talk about the first way of sorting, which is the typical way or the way that I was taught how to sort. And then there is the struggle way. And whenever I say struggle, that's one of my Adulting 101 terms. Whenever I say struggle, that means, hey, money's not falling out of the sky for me. So let me find a way, to do this a different way so that I won't have to spend so much money on this and I can spend the money on the things that I want to spend the money or invest the money into. So I will probably say hashtag the struggle is real whenever I'm about to give you a struggle pro tip, okay? So the first way that we're gonna do it is the normal sort, if we're really trying to take care of our clothing. But the second way that we're gonna do it is the struggle sort because the struggle is real, hashtag. All right, so let's get started on that.
Okay, so what you see now is me separating. Those are my whites. I'm putting all of my whites together. Then I'm separating my blacks. So you're gonna wanna separate all the dark colors and put them together. That lighter option does not go, it's gonna go in another pile. All of those dark things are together in a pile so they don't gray light objects out. Now I'm going to do my reds. And reds can actually Oh, there was another black. Reds can actually include anything that is orange tinted, purple tinted, because they will fade on other colors. Now these are my light colors, but that's a white sock, so I'm going to put that in the white. Those are purple pants. I'm definitely going to put those in the reds because they will probably bleed onto other things. Those are oranges. They go in the reds as well. And those are lighter socks. Darker socks go into the dark pile. Oh, these are jeans. Jeans are going to go into their own pile. Alright, now we're going to move on to the struggle sort. The struggle sort is just putting your grays with your darks. As you can see there, I have a shirt with gray and white on it, but I'm going to put it with the whites because that'll keep the white of that shirt from getting dingy. Some more grays going with the black. You see this pair of jeans? There's only one pair, so why would we wash it? We'll save that for later. Now we only have 3 loads. Cool, right?
Alright guys, now that we have gotten our clothes sorted into either 3 or 4 piles, as you can see I've got 4 here because I did the simple sort or the typical sort. We are actually going to start with washing our clothes and then drying our clothes. So the first thing that I want to remind you to do is make sure that you have all your materials. The first thing that you're going to need is, of course, laundry detergent right there. That is going to make this entire process 10 times easier because you'll be able to actually wash your clothes. And then the next thing you'll need is fabric softener. So that will actually soften your fabrics a little bit so they won't be so rough when you take them out of the washing machine because, you know, water tends to strip the softness out of your clothes, okay? So these are the 2 things that you're gonna need when you are beginning your washing. All right, so are you guys ready? Let's do it. Let's start by getting familiar with the settings on your washing machine. Of course, yours are going to be a little different from mine, but as you can see, there are tons of dials and knobs that you'll be able to, you know, change your settings with when you're washing your clothing. A lot of the knobs and dials will tell you what specific settings to put your clothes on, so it won't be too much of a challenge. This is where you're going to put your laundry detergent on the left in the bigger area and your fabric softener where the blue area is. So make sure that you're not setting your clothes on the absolute wrong setting, which means that you're setting it on bulky or large for smaller loads, or cotton or normal for loads that need to be a little bit more, you know, taken care of. So what I'm going to do now is put my detergent and my softener in, my fabric softener in, and now I'm putting my clothes into the washing machine. And I think that's honestly the easiest part. Just make sure that you check all tags on your clothing to make sure that you're not shrinking anything or washing something that shouldn't be washed with other things. The tag will tell you everything you need to know, and it's that simple. Alright, so the next thing we're going to talk about very, very quickly is drying. This is another easy step in the process, as the only thing that you'll really need, and I mean, it's not even mandatory because you put fabric softener into your laundry the first time, into your wash the first time, but the only thing you'll really need are right here. These guys, these are fabric sheets. They're fabric softener sheets. So I like to put them in just for an extra softening on my clothing, and they're relatively cheap. So definitely get yourself some fabric softener sheets to just throw in during the drying process. Another thing that I didn't show you guys was, you know, a couple of pointers. So we're gonna do a couple of pointers right now. And here are a couple of pro tips. The first pro tip that you guys are going to want to know about washing your clothes, you might want to try turning them inside out so that any design, especially if it's something that's on the front of your clothing, like my sweatshirt, if I don't want the decal to get, weird, and if I don't want the letters to fade, then I could try taking it off and turning it inside out. So that means that instead of washing it on the outside like this, I would turn it inside out. And that'll actually save your clothes a lot of, basically, when they start to look worn. If you wash your clothes on the inside, they won't look as worn. Another thing is, while the shirt is turned inside out, is always check your tags. This is your tag right here. Make sure that you check your tag to see how you're supposed to be washing your clothes. Because if I wash this sweatshirt in hot water, it's going to shrink up horribly. So I need to make sure that I wash this in cold water, and it actually tells me machine wash cold on the tag. So always pay attention to your tags. All right, guys, now we're at the portion of the video where we've got some wonderfully washed clothes, some definitely dry clothes, and now we're going to fold them. So I've got a wash and dried shirt here, very fresh. And what we're gonna do is walk through the steps of folding this shirt. So I have something to admit, I am not the world's best folder of clothing. But what I can say is that there is one thing I know how to do, and that's fold a shirt. So let's go through the steps of folding a shirt.
Okay, so now we've got our shirt. I'm gonna give it a little bit of a snap to get the wrinkles out of it, then lay it as flat as I possibly can on the tabletop. You're gonna take the left arm or right arm, whichever one first, and you're gonna fold it halfway over. Then you're gonna take the right arm or left arm, whichever one, and fold it halfway over. And you should have them touching in the middle as you see. Then you're gonna give it one fold, and then you're gonna give it another fold. And you've got a folded shirt.
So now we've walked through how to successfully fold a shirt. Good job. There are some harder items to fold, like fitted bed sheets or silky blouses that you might want to hang up instead of fold. So I've actually included some more tutorials from YouTube for you to check out on your own time. All right, that's it, guys. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and I hope that you will join Sherwood Regional Library for another Adulting 101 tutorial soon.